He's as he was telling me just a little while ago, he's done his Putradharm truly by writing a wonderful biography of his late father. And I have Deepika, who, of course, everyone knows as Masita, but I loved you in Bala recently in this
Okay, how sweet.
baby ko juice pilado role. I thought it was very quirky and very funny. And it was nice to see you as a star mom, a very hip star mom. So, congratulations. I hope we see more
Thank
of you
you.
on screen.
Yes, even
Um,
I hope to.
yeah. Mr. Sagar, I'd like to start with you because, as I was saying, I was deeply, deeply moved by your book on your father. I think it's such a tribute to a man who has seen so much tragedy and yet whose life has been so inspiring. And I think you bring out both so well. But of course, I want you to focus on his journey towards writing Ramayana. And the irony, sir, the greatest irony which I find, that this was a serial that was commissioned by a Congress government with Rajiv Gandhi as Prime Minister. And it benefited really the BJP the most because it came at a time when the Ram Janmabhoomi was also, flowering and blossoming. So there's so much that we need to discuss today. But I'd like you to start with the journey towards Ramayana of your late father.
Hello, Deepika, how are you?
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. I think we all meet only in webinars nowadays.
And you worked so closely for what, over a year, right? He was the cinematographer, you were the actor.
No, we were shooting for 3-4 years, so continuously off and on. And before that, it was Vikram Betal. So we were
Right.
continuously catching up and meeting. Yeah.
Right. So you have a very close relationship.
Yes, yes, we do have.
Okay. So, Mr. Sagar, over to you.
Yeah, it's he was always bleeding.
Yeah.
His wounds never healed.
Right.
Even I remember when he was about 85 years of old, he told me a small incident on the railway tracks when his mother, who had adopted, adopted mother, or what do you call, he was an adopted child.
Yeah.
She was a childless mother, so she didn't have the heart of a mother. And he was picking up pebbles on the railway track, and she beat him black and blue, saying that your pockets will be torn. He says, "Mom, this is my toys. I have nothing else to play with." That incident was so strong, embedded in him, that even at the age of 85, he remembered, and there were tears in his eyes. And he told me.
Yeah.
So these were wounds he lived with.
Right.
And if you go to see every character in Ramayana, it be Sita, it be Kaushalya, they are all a part of his life's journey.
Right.
He had this kind of an idealism for women. He had this kind of idealism for mother. And since his life had not given him all that, so that experience you can see reflected in every character. His son, Dashrath, Ram, Sita, Lakshman. He had only one brother. So they were all kind of his personal life's characters etched into Ramayana. And the Ramayana journey started when he saw Ram Raj of Shobna Samarth.
Right.
And I think Prem Adip played, right?
Right.
That is the only film Mahatma Gandhi saw.
Yes.
Whole life, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was so deeply touched by the character of Ramayan. And the other was Chandidas with K.L. Sen.
Right.
Where he felt identified with Chandidas because his father marries another woman, and then, what all he does with his son.
Right.
He had all these wounds, and this was the influence very early when he was hardly 16, 17, 18 years old.
Right.
And then there was series of incidences in his life. Actually, all his even short stories. I remember a story where there's an Indian partition is taken place, and the river Ravi in Punjab defines one side is the Muslim and the other side are Hindu communities staying in villages.
Ji.
And the main character of the short story he had written, she's drowned in the river, and she goes into the Muslim community, and they keep her captive. How she escapes, and she comes back, and the father-in-law refuses to accept her. The
Right.
husband refuses to accept her. So these were all reflections. You could see that there was Ramayan in his soul.
Yeah.
There was Ramayan. He was born to rewrite Ramayan in the electronic media.
Right.
His very name, Chandramauli,
Yeah.
name of Shiv Bhagwan,
Right.
the one with the crescent moon.
Right.
It was Shiv Bhagwan who the first narration of Ramayana, or the first creation of Ramayana was through Shiv Bhagwan to Parvati Ma,
Ji.
where Kakbushundi hears it and comes it in the Panchi Sabha and narrates it. That is where Valmiki puts it in 24,000 verses, and Tulsidas makes it into Avdi Bhasha in Lipi,
Right.
in writing. And Ramanand Sagar writes it in the electronic media of TV for today's generation and for generations to come.
Yeah.
After Chandramauli, his name becomes Ramanand at
Right.
Namskaran. Now
Right.
that nobody knew this baby is going to make Ramayan.
Right.
And then when he first time sees the sea at Charni Road station, and he realizes the sea, the Sagar,
Yeah.
has no boundaries of religion, color. There is no black, no white, no yellow.
Yeah.
There is no Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Sikh. Sagar is for everybody. It touches every shore, And he decided that his nom de plume should be Sagar because his art or his creativity or his writing should reach to mankind,
Right.
not some very definite section. You see? So he became Ramanand Sagar. Ram ke Anand ka Sagar.
Yeah.
And imagine he married Leelavati,
Yeah.
Ram Leela.
Right.
How do you account
So
for
many coincidences.
coincidences, you see? And even at the age of 25, when he is dying in a sanatorium in a Tangmarg,
Right.
for dead for sure, because there was no cure for TB.
Yeah.
Got cured by the poison of a snake from a sugarcane juice,
Right.
from sugarcane field with the sugarcane juice, chewing the sugarcane, and the poison went inside him, and that's how he got cured. And imagine a tantric, he was our, Chopra clan's Kul Purohit, and he comes and tells him, you are going to make Ramayan in 80s, which is going to create a spiritual revolution in the whole world.
Hmm.
Now, this is uncanny.
Hmm.
I have met Nityanandji and I have seen his miracles, and he had some siddhis with him. He asked me, open your hands palm. I opened it. And he said, what do you want to eat? I said, Aru. And what an Aru came in my hand from nowhere. Now, this is not heard. This is experienced. Similarly, he met Mahavatar Babaji during the location shooting of Lalkar in Assam, Guwahati, Kamakhya Mandir, where the prediction came. Then Mola Sahib, a film producer, predicted from his astrological chart, his Kundli, that he will make Ramayan. So he started Yogeshwar Krishna with L.K. Advani coming and giving the clap shot, and Shashi Kapoor acting as Krishna, and Raj Kapoor was there. And so all these coincidences, if you go to see, the pointer is he was born to make Ramayan,
Right.
he did his job, and he left this dharti. That's
Right.
it.
And Mr. Sagar, it was very interesting that the person who made Mahabharat was also someone who was, a sort of friend come rival from a very early time, B.R. Chopra. Talk a little about that relationship. They were both journalists, they were both from Lahore, and both of them ended up making the two most iconic serials on Doordarshan.
Very interesting, Ruiji. They were both situated in the same street in Lahore.
Ji.
And they had their offices in Lahore, and film from Bombay would come there, and they were acting like publicity agents and things like that for that area.
Hmm.
And their rivalry was from that time.
Right.
Yeah. And they were very thick friends at the same time. They were like
Yeah.
family.
Yeah.
No function in Sagarvilla or BR House was without the whole family, the full chitty bang going there.
And both are from Juhu as well. Both landed up in Juhu.
both had the same struggle period.
Yeah.
And just a year or two earlier, Sagarat was conceived in 50, started in 53. Chopra ji also came in 52, 51 or something. Okay. So they both had rivalry, and he made a different kind of cinema. But he always had one remark to Papaji that I cannot make my audience cry.
Huh.
So that is where you score above me. That was the happiness of that period, that era, And they both, when it was, Papaji was offered both.
Yeah.
And Mahabharat. Then Doordarshan authorities. So he says, I will not make Mahabharat because Mahabharat is perhaps the greatest story ever told, and it has all the stories of the world in it.
Right.
But I will not make it because it doesn't put seeds of, tyag and the seeds of goodness, the seeds of sacrifice, the seeds of ideal living, Maryada Purushottam. Everybody wants to, chinafy.
Right.
Ye crown mera hai, ye crown mera hai, isko maar.
It's all about greed and power,
Power, yeah. So he said, I will make Ramayana. And because he was very deep into I want to bring Krishna,
right,
and not Mahabharata. So after Ramayana, he started Krishna made based on Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana.
Right.
See, that was very, very intelligent of him to bring Srimad Bhagavad Mahapurana and bring Mahabharata as a chapter.
Right.
It is Krishna Leela, the Makhanchor Krishna. You see?
Yeah.
Then from there he goes into Mahabharata, which will now come after about 15 days.
Right.
And then from there he goes into Krishna.
Right.
And
I want to,
imagine the then government, for a man who had first made Ramayana, then made Krishna, and Krishna gave 135 crores as airtime to Doordarshan, that is 55% of their earning. They refused to extend Shri Krishna for Gita chapter.
Right.
Can't imagine. It's unbelievable.
But what happened to the government at that point?
Durga. And they gave him Durga, which was his culmination from Bara Sampurna to Sola Sampurna to complete Shakti. They said, no, we can't give you. Anyway, these are personal things. Tell me.
No, but it was very interesting, the politics around Ramayana. Before I bring in Deepika, I just wanted you to briefly touch upon the politics of Ramayana, because as I said, here was a Congress government which had started something that perhaps it did not realize would become such a big phenomenon. And here was another political party which was actually, riding along on this wave. So did you have, and you had, I know, some amount of tension with Doordarshan during that period. Mr. Bhaskar Ghosh and I think Mr. Sagar had a lot of differences of opinion. So how was that relationship? How did that resolve itself?
First of all, so I would say this is a divine phenomena which has happened.
Right.
It is not man-made.
Right.
So it is beyond reason, logic.
Right.
And if you notice, in 85, BJP had 2 seats.
Right.
And after Ramayana, they got, I think,
190, 180. Right.
And then after Krishna, they got 165 or 67.
Right.
And they made the government.
Right.
Correct? So if you go to see, this is all kind of destined.
Yeah.
You cannot use the word politics.
Yeah.
The influence that time, now the Shah Banu case has got nothing to do with something called Ramayana or Ayodhya.
Right.
But Shah Banu case is the fuse of the bomb which brought Ramayana and which brought Ayodhya.
Together.
If you go to see.
Yeah.
Even of the Ram Lalla temple,
Yeah.
gates, and that Pandey. There were 5 Pandays involved.
Yeah.
What a coincidence!
Yeah.
How can you explain this coincidence? And that
Right.
monkey sitting on top, who was Diora Baba,
Right.
and telling Pandey that if you don't sign it now, it will never happen. Sign, sign, sign.
Right.
And when he went to meet Diora Baba, he realized that the voice is same.
Right.
Because Diora Baba is also called Hanuman Avatar.
Right.
Now, these are not coincidences. This is all pre-planned.
Hmm.
You think breaking of the Berlin Wall was politicized, or it was not pre-planned? Or Mandela being freed, or South Africa being freed from the white supremacy no, these are all destined. So Ramayan coming on DD was destined, and I do not use the word politics.
Hmm. Hmm. Deepika, may I bring you in, because for you, playing Sita really changed your life. What was your life? Can you briefly describe to us? What was it like pre-Sita and post-Sita? What was the difference?
Pre-Sita, I was an actress, Deepika, and I was doing different roles. I was doing Vikram Betal, I was doing Dada Dadi, I was doing a lot of other movies. I did a movie called Patthar with Om Puri, and I've done a lot of movies before that. So I was a very regular actor. And post Ramayan, I just turned into a goddess one fine day, and I became a mata. More than anything else, I became a mata. So I mean, at that kind of an age when you are still very young, unmarried, and people want to just look down at you and look at your feet, and you want to touch your feet. So it was a very different kind of that whole phase was different. It wasn't that an actor would enjoy.
Yeah.
It is something that not only a religious guru would enjoy. So this was something in between where there was a lot of glamour being an actress,
Right.
and yet we had that very, very religious approach to our fame. So yes, I became God, and most importantly, I became Mataji. I became Mata.
So in terms of the roles that you got after Ramayan, Deepika, what were they like?
So I did not do anything in much in Hindi. I did 3 or 4 movies after that in Hindi, in the mainstream. I did a lot of regional after that because I had to keep the image of Sita. So, that Lamba Bal, Choti, Bindi, because that's what people really loved about Sita ji, the Kumkum Bindi. So they wanted to see me like that. So I think regional movies, which was Gujarati, a lot of South Indian movies I did Bengali. So they kind of liked the heroines like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I kind of fitted very well into that good girl, Lambe Bal, Kumkum, did the right thing. And, there were movies in the background where there was always some dialogue about Sita ji and how this heroine is like Sita.
Right.
So that kind of underplayed effect to my role. So I think that's how I kind of moved on and did things.
Right. And now when it's come back on screen, and you are also sort of coming back to the Hindi cinema, thankfully, as we saw in Bala, with a very nice and quirky and funny role. So what is it like when people around you see you yet again as Sita Mata? Is it back to the old days, or is it less?
Not really. No, not really. Because as a matter of fact, because of the lockdown, I've not stepped out at all of the house. I really don't know. And every time I've stepped out, I've got a mask, so I don't think anybody recognizes me. And people have known me, like, okay, this is Deepika. She's the one who played Sita, or she's Sita ji. So they kind of know that, I mean, that has always been a tagline. Right. So, I mean, even people, when they are just introduced to me and they are like, you shake hands and you talk and you introduce as, oh, this is Deepika, and they're like, oh, yeah, of course, we know her, she's Sita ji. So it's always been there. So it's not something new. The new part that really came in was these webinars, a lot of press, a lot of memes, a lot of Insta lives, a lot of Facebook lives. All that has been very, very new and very very much there. The kind of press coverage that we have received. Right. A lot of Instas have happened, So
Are
that
you
has been
enjoying
different.
it? Are you
Yeah,
enjoying
I am. In fact, the first 15, 20 days, I was doing 7, 8 of them, and I kind of enjoyed. And I tried and saved, and had a different story for each one.
Yeah.
Like trying to give you not everything away, so that
Right.
the other person doesn't kind of feel कि अरे repeat lag raha hai. And after the 15th day, then I actually spoke to them. I do not mind speaking to you, but there are 5 questions I will not cater to. I will not cater to how did I get the role. I will not cater to how did I change as a person after playing the role. So there were these 4, 5 questions, and I said I am not answering them because I think everybody else knows about it. So I mean, there's no point pretending that, oh my God, this is like a brand new question, and I'm going to give you a brand new answer to it. Yeah.
What do you think? What did Ramanand Sagar see in Deepika that convinced him that she would be Sita for him, Mr. Sagar?
I like this one because I really want to know from the makers.
Yeah,
I want to know. Answer. I've been giving these answers to everybody from my point of view.
Yeah, because it would be very interesting to know.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
The truth, or you want to
the truth?
Diplomatic answer.
No, always the truth.
Oh my God! So there are 2 versions to this.
Yes. Something you speak to and something only dear to you, know you. Deepika had come to see my brother Anand Sagar.
Huh?
And she was leaving from his cabin, and my cabin was next to his. And I just had a glance at her. She didn't even know me. And I immediately rang up on intercom. I said, Anand, who's this girl? Saying he's Deepika. She's been acting in some Raj series. This. Said, can you stop her and send her to me right away? Why? I said, I have never seen a more perfect face.
Oh,
being a cameraman, being a photographer, and being a painter, So I have a lot of study of anatomy. Like, for example, the selection of Ram, I was quite able because I have never seen a torso as perfect as his.
Right.
He's got an equilateral triangle between his 2 shoulders and his navel. Now, that is something amazing as a human structure.
Right.
Only Ram could have had, so that is why he was born to play Ram. According to me, because ऐसा structure नहीं मिल सकता है. I don't know if he's aware or not, but this is what and that is how I told Papa ji, no. Similarly, selected Deepika just came in. I said, hi, pretty girl, ye, wo,
Do you remember this, Deepika?
Yes, absolutely. Very, very clearly. Very clearly.
She got a shock of her life. I said, I want to sign you right away for a serial called Vikram Betal. She had the expression on her face. She couldn't believe it, And she was very pretty. There's no doubt.
She was
No.
Premji, what is was?
Today she wears goggles, so that's why I'm not able to look into her eyes.
Okay.
Dreamy.
These are my specs. I need them to see.
So she was selected instantly.
Right.
And actually, there's a story behind it. Ramayana was rejected by the richest people around the world. The idea was conceived in Switzerland,
right.
While having, in a restaurant in the Alps on French and Swiss border. And Papa said, I'm getting into television after seeing first time a color television.
Right.
In a town called Le Debliquet. So he came here, he gave me pamphlets, he gave me a round the world ticket, he wrote letters to, one of the richest people, for example, like Hindujas and Goras, and, and he expected great treatment because he was already a very, very big name with them.
Yeah.
Hindujas still have their telegraphic address as Arzu. Because the amount of money they made from Arzu and Sangam is what brought them to the forefront.
Right.
So he had great, and they all respected him.
Right.
So somebody would take me in a corner, how old is your father? 60. Satak gaya. Satak gaya, what do you mean? Is he mad going from big screen, the biggest producer in India, into small screen?
Right.
Somebody would call his secretary and tell him, You be nice to him, give him a gift, let him go home. You know, and somebody was so rude. He says, "Just get out, you are idiot. You want me to lose all my money? Are you getting into TV?" And that also mukut, you know, mukut, matlab crown and mustache. So I came back round the world, you know, in 24 hours. Round the world in 60 days, I came back. And I told Papaji, this is the truth.
Right.
So he said, Prem, kya kare? I have to make Ramayana. I have to make Krishna. I have to make Durga. Even if I have to sell my bungalow, even if I have to sell the shirt on my back.
Right.
This is what is my mission. And kind of, this is why I was born. And I realized it. And I have to do it. I said, don't worry, Papaji. We will make it. I have a friend called, you know, Mr. R.S. Agarwal, the big boss of Imami.
Right.
That time Imami was just growing. It was, you know, just in the market and we were good friends. And I went to Agarwal Sahab. I said, look, I want to make Mukut Mooch kind of. And it is similar to Ramayana, you know, wisdom, depth, idealism, and intricate stories. And he said, I can only afford 1 lakh. I said, done. So Vikram Betal was shot one day. Deepika will be laughing. One day, one episode.
Yeah.
You know, with 18 scenes.
One day, one episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
And
long did you work, Deepika? 18-hour days? or
Yeah, yeah, 18 hours. I mean, I would come and my parents would ask me what time is backup. I said, I never know when the backup is. Because with Vikram Betal, it was like just goes on. And most of the shooting was done at his house. So, you know, at the Sagar Bungalow.
Yeah.
I remember my parents have picked me up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. And we were still doing chroma. And my dad would find it very fascinating as to what is this? Why are you sleeping on that green carpet and just, you know, pretending that you're flying? I said, we're actually going to be flying.
So, but Deepika, I wanted to bring in this fact again, because when I was reading the book, I realized that Mr. Sagar, I mean, Ramanand Sagar actually wrote all the dialogues himself, of course.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And that some dialogues he would finish writing at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
And then ask you guys to start shooting immediately.
Yeah.
So what was that life like? It was like living in...
Crazy. It was crazy. I mean, I really don't know how we did it. We were just, I think, very dedicated. We were just very enormed by the whole process of doing Ramayana, and we were all just there. So we would get ready in the evening at 6 o'clock.
Right.
Get our makeup and everything, and then we would just keep waiting.
Sorry, just tell me a little, Deepika. You all traveled outside, right? You all went.
We were all living there. My date with the Sagars Ramayana was from 28 days every month. Every month. I would not be going back home and doing anything at all. So I would be
and
there.
This was Uttargaon in Gujarat.
Umargaon in Gujarat. Yeah.
Right.
So we would be there. And because we would pack up at 6 in the morning, always see the sunrise. I've always seen the sunrise in all those days that I have worked over there. And then you get back and you have a cup of tea and then you kind of relax and chill and go to sleep by 8:39 in the morning. Right. Wake up at 3:34 in the afternoon, have a little, you can't really eat lunch as such, you know. Right. So I would just eat one thepla and, you know, have a little dahi or something like that. And then start getting ready. By 6:37, would get into the motion of makeup. And धीरे धीरे सब हो रहा है. And then when अच्छा अभी पापा जी ने लिख लिया है आज, so 11 बजे तक शुरू हो जाएगा. Someday नहीं, पापा जी has not written, it will still go on. So then you would again have dinner, chill, but with your makeup on.
With your makeup and your costume.
Makeup on. Not your costume, with the makeup on. I mean, the others had to wear the costume because it was very complicated. They had to be ready really before time. In my case, I was okay because I would just take 10 minutes. It was just a quick thing for me. But the moment, I mean, Papa ji would say, "Ha, sab ready ho gaya hai, chalo, let's start shooting." And then, you know, you just quickly get into that thing and start working. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody could have done it. I mean, we just did it. I would not say we are professional only, but I think we enjoyed it. I think it was a lot of love, you know, associated, because it's not always just about being professional. I think there was something very family oriented about it, very genuine about it. Yeah. And he would take real pains to write his line. he would not like a certain thing, he would go back and no, मुझे मेरी सीता ये नहीं कर सकती, मेरा राम ऐसा नहीं बोल सकता, so he was very into that kind of a thing कि मुझे नहीं पसंद है, it has to turn out this way. So it was a very personal thing for him also, and I think all of us also were kind of into that whole groove of playing Ram and Sita, and yeah, I mean, today when I think about it, I'm also amazed as to how we did it.
So much dedication, and know, were there things about your character that you didn't like?
What is it I didn't like about my character?
Yeah. The self-sacrificing, the fact that eventually she did have to.
No, but I think that was a way that she kind of, got back to Ramji. I don't know if it's a politically correct statement to make.
That's
but I think that was, but I think that was a way of getting back to Ramji कि मैंने इतना बर्दाश्त किया है. Now I'm not taking any more nonsense. So I'm kind of leaving you, and leaving you how? That you're never even going to get to see me again. So I think it was that kind of a thing. So I feel कि कहीं ना कहीं whatever Sita ji has done, she's been a warrior. She has put her points across. She has stood up for herself. And the day she felt that now it's getting too much, she's like, okay, I quit from here, and I'm not, you're not going to get to see me again. And I go back, that kind of a thing. Right. So I think she stood her ground. I think she stood her ground. So I really don't think there was anything that I didn't like. I love the way I kind of dressed my own self up, all throughout. Yeah. Because I felt that I have, as a, young 18-year-old to a girl who gets married, Vanvas ka 14 saal, uske baad Maharani, where she gets pregnant. So, that face also matured, and everything looked like, yes, I'm pregnant, and I look like, I've grown old, older. Right. So I think I kind of liked the whole thing. It just felt beautifully, And I really believe that when Papa ji said, "Na ye ban gaya hai, maine nahi banaya." So sometimes even I feel कि मैंने भी जो किया है, मैंने कर लिया है.
Right.
I have not really put so much of an effort like how people think about it. We were just there. We were there into the whole groove. So it just fell into place wonderfully. And of course, when you have a director like Sagar Saab, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, and he gives you a lot of free hand. It's not like he'll tell you kabhi aise karo. Like you have a lot of directors who would enact and show you, come and do this. No, he would leave a lot to the actor.
Right.
He would just give you placements कि यहाँ से यहाँ आओ, ये line इतनी यहाँ पे बोलो, and you take your lights and you take a call on how you want to do it. And if he didn't like, then he would tell you कि नहीं ऐसा नहीं. सीता जी ऐसी नहीं हो सकती है, ये ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. Then he would come and tell you. But when you're crying, when you're saying your lines, he could not even say a cut because वो खुद इतना रोते थे. When you would look at the monitor, he would be weeping. So then he would tell the assistant कि cut bolo, tum cut bolo, because he could not talk.
Right.
So he would be so involved with it.
Did you ever have a difference of opinion on any word or any of the language that he wrote? Because some of the lines would come to you so late. How did you remember them so quickly? It must have been quite genuine.
Sometimes, yes, we did have an issue. Like I had an issue because I come from an English background, English speaking background, because I was from a convent school. Well, Ramji comes from a very Hindi background, so it was very quick for him to pick up because that's his mother tongue.
Right.
So for me, I
love the way you say Ramji and not Arun Govind.
Yeah. I think he still addresses me also as Sita ji only. He calls me Sita Maiya only. We still haven't got used to calling, like, samne hote to obviously I call him Arun ji. But otherwise, I think we, peech piche to Ram ji hote, Lakshman ji, Ram ji, we are still used to it, that kind of a lingo, In fact, sets pe bhi everybody called us by that name. Like all the spot boys also, like Chai Chahiye Sita ji, Sita Ma, Chai, that kind of a thing. It was never Deepika ji. So
sorry, I interrupted you. Aap keh rahe the that, when you were talking about the language, or was there ever a point where you disagreed?
Yeah, so I did not disagree because I have no business to disagree because he knows his language very well. Yeah. But my thing would be a lot of words were very difficult, very tongue twisting. So I needed a little time. So sometimes, and when there wasn't any time and they were running against time, and we had to send the cassettes across to the airport to get them telecast because it would be like 6 baje, 5 baje, 6 baje, 7 baje, you're working, shooting, you're tired and you're sleepy. So it gets a little difficult. So that's when one of our assistant directors said कि वो पाटिया लगा के try करो, because there were a lot of sadhus who were doing it, you know, who were generally not, they were non-actors. So Papa ji said नहीं लगा के करो, because I want you to be comfortable, just for the fact that, you know, you should have the confidence कि तुम भूल नहीं रही हो.
Right.
So I would memorize my lines, but I would keep that just as a backup, as a little safety kind of a thing कि भाई एक है वहाँ पे. So I'm not making a mistake anywhere. So I did that, but no, I kind of memorized my lines. I kind of made sure that I got over there. Yeah.
Mr. Sagar, you remember lighting Deepika? Was it a joy to light her?
It was a joy to look at her at every. This is a creation of God. So pretty, so beautiful. Lighting, you don't require lighting for a girl like her. Yes, in TV, there is a special kind of a lighting technique.
Right.
You cannot have too much contrast.
Right.
And she looked so beautiful in Vikram Betala, I'm going back to. My cameraman, the lighting man, Ram Madgaikar, followed the same pattern of lighting Sita.
Right.
And especially in the Love Kush chapter, the lighting on her eyes, which is called high key lighting, was very well done, and she lived up to the role. They were inspired. They were not just, they were dedicated, inspired.
Right.
Role was not played just like that.
Right. And Mr. Sagar, just to bring you back to the fact that, you know, some of these dialogues were written late, it was also because Ramananji had some of these coming to him through the Hanuman that he had in his room. I know even when I read it, I found it difficult to believe, but that is what faith is, isn't it? I mean, you have to believe it.
See, faith ends when you believe starts.
Right.
Not faith. Because this, I have seen it happening, so I cannot mind my reasoning. It is beyond reason.
Right.
I remember he used to feed pigeons on the terrace and call them with the name of rishis, like Vashish. This is, you know, different kinds of rishis. Yeah. And he used to feed them, and when the watchman came, when sadhus come to meet him, he went down, and that sadhu was a very young, he had a spiritual glow around him, and he says, my guru in Himalayas has sent you a message, you know, very humbly.
Right.
Baba said, what's the message? And he changed his whole attitude.
Right.
And that kind of, you know, roop, Rudra roop.
Right.
And he said, who do you think you are?
Right.
You think you are making Ramayana? It is being done by some yojana. Do your work and get out of this place. You know, that kind of an attitude.
Right.
Shocked, red-faced.
Yeah.
And after that, when you would get writer's block, you suddenly don't know what to write.
Right.
With it cannot place, he went to that old Hanuman Mandir. Right in front, there was a shop selling copper statues.
Have they kind of done?
Beg your pardon?
No, sorry.
So there was a shop selling copper statues, and he felt this statue telling him, "Ki take me. I've been, you know, brought to this shop for you."
Right.
He says, "I just walked there. I didn't even question the shopkeeper what price, nothing. I just brought it, and I've seen it in his library." And he would sit alone and talk to that statue, that Hanumanji statue. I still have it. And I told him, Papaji, what is it? He says, when I get this writer's block, I don't know what to do. I just pray to Hanuman. And he comes and just narrates me the dialogues.
Right.
Now, there is no reason.
Right.
I cannot explain this. You believe it is beyond logic.
Right.
Yeah,
we have lots of questions coming in for both you, Mr. Sagar, and Deepika. I'll just take a couple of them. There's one from Divya Khandelwal to Mr. Sagar. What is a particular thing or habit that you liked about your father?
Tell me again, I couldn't hear.
What was a particular thing or habit that you liked about your father?
Difficult question.
Yeah.
One, of course, he was an inspiration.
Yeah.
He never got.
Right.
He trusted me more than he could trust himself.
Right.
We had the soul relationship,
Right.
previous birth.
Yeah.
He narrated only to me
Right.
out of all his siblings. He told me the wounds,
Yeah.
and I would come and take notes at night. From 2002, I started recorded his work,
Right.
and just a year or two earlier, he called and opened a private safe
Right.
and gave me all the memorabilia which he thought was relevant or may become relevant in years to come,
Oh.
like postcard written in 1817 when he
Wow.
was born,
Right.
or Barsat in 1947, which he wrote the script.
Right.
So he left everything with me. Maybe he had a vision that this son would carry forward the missionary job or the torch lit by him further. So he left all his memorabilia with, including his third class
Right.
with Devanand and Madan Mohan, traveling from Borivali to Churchgate.
Right.
They lived in one room in a Pereira mansion in Mahim.
Right.
And imagine they had one common pant between three of them, long
Yeah,
pant.
I know you write about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and one of them would go to meet the other two would be in towel sitting there.
What
So
a
that,
story, yeah.
yeah, third class pass of 1948 I still have. He
Right.
left with me. So what? Don't know. Mr. Khandelwal, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he would be able to judge after all that I've told him. These are beyond relationships. You can't
Yeah.
use. They are soul level bondages
Yeah.
or karma.
And in a way, Mr. Sagar, he lavished so much love on his family. There was, I think, that lack of love when he was growing up. He didn't want his family to suffer that, right?
Yeah, he had a very turbulent.
Very turbulent, very
Uh,
traumatic.
that mark on his forehead,
Yeah.
crescent mark. His stepmother, you could say, or his adopted mother, she threw a garvi on him because he had not cleaned the utensils.
Right.
And for lifelong, he had that mark.
Yeah.
Every day he would get up, he would go down the well 20 feet, fetch water, clean the utensils, go to school, get scholarships. Still kind of woman.
Right.
Because she was a money lender.
Right.
So he had a very turbulent life, and the mother died out of drug addiction because of separation of the son,
Right.
and because she was put onto Afim so that
Right.
her pain would become less by Kashiram, her loyal servant. That time the servants the ladies of the house got married. They approved the ladies. So he had approved Isha Devi for Lala Dinanath. And when he realized his father has given him for adoption and the mother cannot accept this, and she's losing health, so he put her on to a little Afim. That time Afim was taken,
Right.
and just to give her relief. And at the age of 26, she had become attacked with that sorrow because she only lived 5 years after the birth, and she died. Papaji was born in 1917. She died in 1926 or 25. Leaving the little baby. So these wounds he never showed to anybody.
Right.
And I don't know, I was the lucky one or I was the chosen one, I would say. Yeah, I mean, he would discuss with me at night. So that's why he never ever said no to any of his sons or his daughter.
Right.
But he never spoiled them. You have got a Mercedes car, but you will go to school either walking or in a BEST bus or a third class railway pass to St. Xavier's.
Right.
But for his grandchildren, he was he would lose his ethics or anything. He was I mean, I think the grandchildren, he just loved them. He never said no to anything. उनकी जिद भी पूरी करनी, उनकी इच्छा भी पूरी करनी. My daughter Shabnam, who's a big name today, she's become a big star in, she's done Kangana Ranawat's house and
Right.
Irfan Khan's house.
She's this interior designer, right?
Yeah, Shabnam Gupta. So she was very fond of chicken, and my mother used to say, "Stop." She would say, "No, go to the kitchen, whatever is there." And even in restaurant, first chicken would come. He took care of his grandchildren like lotus flowers.
Right.
And even for his children, he did everything. Because of his turbulent childhood and his difficult period.
Right.
He had multiple jobs. He cleaned trucks, like how in the morning gaadi saaf karne aate na. He sold soaps in the street, carrying a tokri. He was a clerk, goldsmith apprentice. He was a munim. He was a coolie. He did so many jobs to just survive in life.
Right.
Able to make Ramayana. So keeping that in mind, he was perhaps the kindest, bestest father.
Yeah. And Deepika, how was your relationship with him? Especially with Deepika's character, there's always the question of, Draupadi being the feminist heroine and Sita being somewhat more malleable and, more a victim and more a martyr, which is not necessarily true. But how was your relationship with Ramananji?
I think what Premji said about him being very loving to his family, I think I was also very, very loved by him and by his entire family, I would say. And we used to shoot in his bungalow, and evenings I would sit and have tea with him, even when, I was not part of Ramayana. Even in those days, we would have tea together. They would invite me over for lunches at times when the whole family was sitting together. So I was eating lunch with the ladies of the house, and I was sitting and chatting with all the bhabis. I still call them bhabis. So all of them. So, and he was very, very kind as a person, and he was just very kind as a soul. And my mom used to make these theplas because I never enjoyed eating outside food, and I couldn't eat the fried food, and that would kind of bother me. So I would carry, itne sare theple mein leke jati thi.
Typical Gujarati.
Yes, very typical Gujarati. That is, and I would have only thepla and dahi. That was my meal for my entire Ramayana. So he would say, "Arey, mummy ne theple banaya, so I'm going to taste." And the day my mom has not made it, and it has been made by the maid, he would immediately say, "Check karo, ye mummy ka nahi hai." And then I would like, "Acha, I so can't make out any difference." And he would actually tell me, and then I would ask mom, Papaji was asking, this theplas, you haven't made it. She said, "No, I didn't have the time this time, so I told her to make it, and she makes it well." I said, yeah, mujhe to theek laga. Papaji kind of, could figure out. It was made by somebody else. So I think there was something very, very warm, very human about him. He's very considerated and very genuine. He was very, very genuine. He was not one of those kind of people who superficially he would talk to people, or superficially, would pretend to be a nice person. He was genuinely a good person, genuinely a nice person. So I think he really loved, and I think somewhere along the way, when we were making also Ramayana, that kind of, came across that he was kind, he was loving, he was thoughtful, and he would always look after everybody, personally look after people. So I think that the whole family is like that, not only Papaji, but I think because Papaji has that, he's kind of giving those kind of, sanskar to his children and grandchildren, and entire family is like that. So I've had some very, very beautiful moments with all the 3 serials that I've done with him.
And Karvi, there are 2 things he taught us in life, which can be interesting for your viewers.
Yes.
One, never owe any money to anybody.
Okay, great. Good.
There are some incidences in his life where, his films got flopped. And after about 10 years, when the film became hit, he went to those actors' houses and said, "I owe you this money."
Wow.
Like Sajjan Saab's daughter was getting married, his sons had kicked him out. After Mehman in 1953, in 61 he made Ghungar, he made a little money, went to his house, paid him the money, he started crying.
Wow.
Because that money he could get his daughter married.
Right.
And the second very important factor which I want to convey through your medium is that he said, never take dowry.
Right.
And because his stepmother or his mother, adopted him, the infertile mother who couldn't bear a baby, so she took big dowry without telling him.
Right.
And because of that, he had realized that this is wrong. I mean, when he came to know, and he called all his children, and he told them that if you take dowry, actually, when he got married, he refused to take dowry.
Right.
And because of that, the mother threw him out on the streets.
Right.
And that stormy weather, he slept in a small little room of Pandit J.C. Bakri, his childhood, marble friend, you see. And because he refused to take dowry and married this Leelavati. Hello.
Yeah.
And imagine, he told all his children, and they were big, and he was at the top of his career.
Right.
They were, really proposals from a princess in Jaipur, and from industrialists. He says, no, I will take 1 rupee 4 anna as a shogun, as a ritual.
Right.
But if anybody wants dowry out of my children, they can take the dowry, but then they stay separate. Business will be together.
Right.
So it was another very big lesson which I convey to today's generation.
So he was a real feminist, right, Mr. Sagar, much before his time.
That is true, because his biggest problem was the character of Sita in Love Kush.
Right.
He never agreed that Maryada Purushottam Ram, the ideal Ram,
right,
गर्भवती स्त्री, गर्भवती पत्नी, जिसकी परीक्षा भी हो चुकी है, अग्नि परीक्षा.
जी.
And just because the Dhobi says, and he throws him out, and that also is kapat.
Right.
भाई को बोलता है कि उसको जंगल में छोड़ा.
हाँ.
He says, my Ram won't do.
Right.
Same dilemma was with Tulsidas ji,
Right.
Sant Tulsidas ji. And that is why Tulsidas ji only wrote up to Ramraj.
Right.
And then said the balanced story is as per what others have written. And Ram got 2 sons, Kush. But
right.
Tulsi's Ramayana ends there.
Right.
You see? So Papaji also had told the government that I will make only up to Ramraj. I will not make the Kush chapter because I don't agree with it.
Right.
That Ramayana, that sequence is polluted.
Right.
So he refused to make it. And because you see, he treated women on a very idealistic level.
Right.
For him, woman was Shakti.
Right.
She was the force. And my mother in that respect was the force behind it. The power behind Ramanand Sagar was my mother.
Right.
You see, that's why the book is dedicated to my Jeevan Datri, Leelavati. You see? So he refused. Because he refused, the Valmiki Samaj made it into an issue.
Yeah.
They, cut dog, they put it on GT road, epidemic started, and, all that kind of thing. And then finally, Rajiv Gandhi personally rang him up and said, you have to do it.
Right.
So he says, I will do it on my terms.
Right.
So he started doing research and he came across a Ramayana called Radha Krishna Ramayana,
right.
where Sita also has her gupchars.
Right.
She also has her, inner spies. And they come and tell Sita why Ram is so disturbed these days. And she goes to Ram. Ram doesn't send her. She says, I am Ardhangni. I can't let this happen to my husband.
Right.
It's my dharam.
Right.
You are not sending me.
Right.
That gave a very different dimension.
Right.
But that created a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Indra Brahmachari walked in. He said, I will not let this episode go. Big hangama in DD. Then there was a court case, which went on for about 10-15 years in Allahabad High Court. So he treated women on a very different level because of his childhood and because he genuinely believed in the power of woman, Shakti.
Mm-hmm. So, just a few more questions, two more questions, and then I think I'll let both of you go. I've taken a lot of your time, but it has been truly quite remarkable. I think listening to both of you, I could go on, but Mr. Sagar, please share some anecdotes about the legendary Ravindra Jainji, whose music gave life to the show. This is from Anubhav Patti.
Dadu and Papaji were two bodies and one, two bodies and one soul.
Huh.
I've seen them working and enjoying their work, going into such kind of details. Ki Dadu brought the music of that land,
Right.
of, Kaushal land,
Yeah.
of Bihar, of UP, that area. If you notice, there is no tabla much. There's only
Right.
dol.
Dol.
There is shenai, not clarinet. And he was very touchy. And there was hardly any money for, paying the playback singers.
Right.
So he says, Papaji, why you worried? I have a voice which is like a Kali Panch. So most of the songs he sang,
Right.
which was a great plus point.
Right.
And even I would say Kavita Krishnamurti and Tej Wadekar, they sometimes took no fees of the fees, which was silly, for singing the songs, because it was Ramayan, it was Dadu, and it was Papaji.
Right.
You see? And he was a very different kind of soul. I mean, he was blind, and that is why his ear senses were double than
Right.
Once I had asked him to show me, so he was born blind. And I remember a small incident. His body was kept in Centur Hotel Jew, and in an air-conditioned room. I went there, and only he and me were there. His dead body and me.
Right.
And he blessed me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am a different kind of a person. So this incident with Dadu and me is very personal, and hardly anybody has ever been told. But they worked in unison. They did a lot of research. They both had total faith in each other. And what music? Music is the lifeline of Ramayana.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Deepika, don't you think?
Of course, very much.
Yeah.
In fact, I think the combination of Ramanand Sagarji and Dadu, I think that is what has given us the different Ramayana. People keep asking, what is the difference between your Ramayana and all this? I said, बहुत सारी बातें हैं, but these are two very, very important. I mean,
Right.
I of course would say the actors and the way it has been directed and the way the production and the camera, everything. But I feel the music and Papaji, I mean, they go hand in hand. You cannot take that away, the credit.
One more question from Amrendra Mishra, who wrote that famous song, Love Kush song, Hum Katha Sunate Ram Sakal Gun Dham Ki. It's so mesmerizing.
Yeah, it was actually inspired from Ram Raj of WhatsApp.
Okay.
Where the same sequence was portrayed.
Right.
And Dadu was also very inspired by that.
Right.
And the song, of course, was written by Dadu. Dadu he was a Saraswati Putra. He didn't while playing on his harmonium, he would compose words, he would compose poetry. Right. I remember first time in early mid-70s, he came to Sagar Villa, an unknown man. He become a music director, this, that. So Papaji said, "Kuch batao kya?" So he sang the song "Gunguru ki tarah bajta hi raha hu main, kabhi is pag mein, kabhi us pag mein." I mean, we were mesmerized. We said, "Wow, Dadu." So the relationship is very old. Then in my first directorial film with Hema ji and Jitendra and Shriram Lagu, Hum Tere Aashik Hain, based on Bernard Shaw, My Fair Lady, Dadu was the music director.
Right.
Also for Ram Barose. So Dadu was with us, but those were very small jobs as compared to what he has done in Ramayana and Krishna. He was a pillar. There's no doubt. And I don't think anybody else could have replaced him though Ramayan's title song was written by, tuned by Jaidev ji,
Yeah.
he retained it. It is, of course, a great song. But Dadu, if you notice, we started a trend of using the name of the serial in the title song. If you remember, Vikram, Vikram, Vikram.
Right, right.
So the same thing Dadu did in Krishna, the
Right.
same thing Dadu did in Sai Baba.
Right.
If you notice the first tune, because that people would identify
Right.
and rush to the TV set just by that sound.
Right.
Dadu's voice, my God. Even professional singers could not match the pitch he could reach.
Yeah.
One last question to Deepika. This is from a girl called Karishma, and she says that her heart broke at the way the way Ramayan ends, and she wishes it could have ended better.
Yeah, but that's how the story was,
Yeah.
and I guess I think that was the beauty of Sita ji's character. That she's giving in all the time. She's thinking about Ramji all the time. She's thinking
Right.
about the Praja all the time. She thinks about Ramji as a king before she thinks of Ramji as a husband. So there
Right.
comes a point where she needs to also stand up for herself and for her own self-respect. So I think I think it was a very, very wonderful end. I mean, everybody likes happily ever after kind
Yeah.
of a story. I mean, everybody likes a love story and a fairy tale, and Ramayan was like a love story, Ram Sita love
Right.
story. And when Love Kush happens, and when Sita ji goes into Dharti, I've personally had people from the film industry saying कि मन खट्टा हो गया, बहुत दुख हो रहा है. So I mean, they've personally taken it as a loss.
Yeah.
But when you think about it from a bigger picture, when you think about it from life, from reality, from relationships, from how you need to stand up for yourself, how things actually happen in the real world, I think this was the right thing to have happened. So
Right.
she couldn't have gone back to her Mecca,
Yeah.
which was to Jhalak.
Yeah.
So the right thing for her to have done was, yes, she takes a stand and says, okay, I did everything for you, but now I'm doing one thing for myself.
Right.
So
This
I
has
think,
been a wonderful conversation, Mrs.
this
Sagar, Deepika.
thank you so much. It was
Thank
lovely.
you so much. I really
Thank you.
enjoyed it, and all the very best to both of you.
Thank
And
you.
I hope more people read this book and more people watch the show. Pawan, over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, Prem Sagar ji and Deepika ji, to give us such great
Thank you.
insights
Pleasure.
on Ramayan and its creator, late Shri Ramanand Sagar ji.
Thank
It was so heartening to hear such candid behind-the-scenes experiences. I'm sure everybody who attended here and who are live on Facebook right now would have really enjoyed it. I would like Ruchin now to say about thanks before we close. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So on behalf of Tiffin Talks, I would like to thank each and every one of you who could join us today. A special vote of thanks to Kaveri ma'am for keeping the conversation so fluid. Catch us live on Facebook and follow our YouTube channel by the name of Tiffin Talks. Thank you all. Jai Shri Ram.
Yes.
Jai Shri.
Jai Shri
Thank you.
Thank you.